if you will close your eyes or whatever you feel comfortable with. You don't have to close your eyes in this, but I like to close my eyes because I feel it allows me to focus on the inner, what's going on within, and it allows the senses to go back and draw within and turn inward, which is what we want to do with our senses, because they are always projecting outside. So we want to bring things back within for just this time in the meditation. So if you want to take an inhale of the breath and then exhale at your pace, and we'll do this for a couple of minutes in silence, and then we'll go through the guided meditation. So concentrate on the inhale of the breath, and then also concentrate on the exhale of the breath. And then from concentration, just turn to awareness. So be aware of the inhalation of the breath, and then aware of the exhalation of the breath. So from concentration to awareness. Do that in your own pace, and we'll do that for the next couple of minutes. Whenever we concentrate on something, whenever we focus on something, whether it's our breath, an image of someone that we worship, or a devta that we worship, or a devi that we worship, what we find is that we're concentrating on a particular content, on a particular form. As we know, the nature of every form, whether breath, whether something or someone that we worship, that we have a close connection with, is all reliant on something unreal. Now, what do I mean by unreal in this particular aspect? The unreal is that which changes, which modifies. Without your mind, how can you worship anything? Without your mind, how can you focus on your breath? Without the body, how can there be breathing? So everything is a content of your awareness. And our meditations that we do here are to bring us back to that awareness which has no form, which has no image, which cannot be defined, which does not have a shape. Explore it within now. When you're being aware of being aware, does that have any content, any object, any energy even? Does it have any space within? If your awareness can still be there without space, then that means it is absolutely real. Whereas Sri Krishna will say, it is Sat, it is the truth. Because whatever is not bounded by space is not bounded by time. So your awareness, your consciousness, the real you, is not bounded by space, not bounded by time. Whatever your senses perceive, your awareness is watching it. As you've grown throughout these years, you probably have moved locations. You probably have gone on holiday to different destinations. But your awareness has remained with you untouched by any experience that you've had. When you are sad, when you're upset about something, is awareness upset? Is consciousness upset? Or is Brahman, Nirgun Brahman, is that upset? When you're happy, is awareness happy? Is awareness affected by that happiness? Awareness remains untouched. Because feeling happy, feeling sad, is a content of consciousness. It's a content of the mind. And your awareness is before the mind. Therefore, every event is just a content in your awareness. We're going to explore that awareness within you a bit more now. In the East, they call this formless consciousness, this formless awareness, and define it in 3 Sanskrit terms. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is the truth. Consciousness is the complete truth. Your awareness is the complete truth. And you cannot escape this truth. Then Chit, consciousness itself, is conscious of its own self, is aware of its own awareness. And then Bliss, Ananda. Last week in the meditation we looked at the senses, but bliss is beyond the senses. Bliss has no beginning, bliss has no end. Consciousness has no beginning, consciousness has no end. Sat, truth has no beginning, truth has no end. This is the nature of your consciousness when it is manifested in form. So right now, when you are in your awareness, your nature is blissful. You do not have pain in bliss. You are bliss. Stick with this for a few moments. Be silent with that bliss for a few moments. Remember, you're not experiencing bliss or ananda. You are ananda. You are bliss. So don't look to experience bliss. If you look to experience it, then bliss will run away like every other object. It appears and then disappears. And it's just an appearance then. It's not bliss itself. For example, if somebody is really thirsty in the desert and they're walking in the desert and they see an oasis, a pool of water, and they go running towards that direction where they can see that water, and they realize once they get there Actually, it was just a mirage. It was just an appearance. It was false. That's the same way when we look to seek happiness or seek bliss. Or we want this meditation to be blissful. Meditation itself is bliss. You yourself are bliss. So you're not going to experience bliss. You are bliss. This is your own nature. In bliss, whatever we experience in this content, what I mean by content is our body and mind. Both pleasure and pain are within bliss. It is not bliss, but it is contained within bliss. So remember, whenever you go through a painful experience, or you go through a pleasurable experience, a wonderful experience, remember that it is within bliss. This is not difficult to achieve in our day-to-day life. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. If we can go back to our awareness at all times. Whenever we're in difficulty, we go back to that awareness. Whenever we're having a good time, we go back to awareness. Does bliss have any form? Does it manifest in any way? If you're smiling, does that mean that bliss is there? If you're laughing, does that mean bliss is there? If you feel inspired, does that mean bliss is there? All those are contents of bliss, but not bliss itself. Bliss is awareness. Anand is awareness. Brahman is Anand. They are one and the same. Bliss has no form. Bliss has no expression. Bliss has no emotion. Bliss has no thought. Bliss has no intention. Bliss has no movement. Bliss has no language. Bliss has no knowledge. Bliss is beyond your senses. Bliss is beyond silence. Bliss doesn't belong to me alone. Bliss does not belong to you alone. Bliss does not belong to the sages alone or the rishis alone. Bliss is our shared being. We share this. Bliss is in the one that knows Brahman, that knows the ultimate reality, that knows pure consciousness. And bliss is there even with the one that appears to be ignorant. Bliss is limitless. When we look at awareness, we know that awareness, in its true experience, when we fully understand and discover that there is only awareness, then awareness is not here, nor is it there. Same with bliss. It's neither here, nor is it there. Whatever can be directly understood, unveiled, revealed, cannot be here nor there. As I mentioned earlier, it does not belong to space. Here and there belongs to space. In bliss, there is no time. You cannot be blissed out yesterday and then not feel blissful today. And you cannot anticipate bliss in the future. If you cannot experience bliss now. So bliss is beyond past experience, present experience, and future experience. Bliss, Anand, is simply isness. It simply is. As awareness simply is. Let's just think for a second. Did you discover bliss today? If you discover something, anything, that means previously it was hidden, or it simply wasn't there. But you didn't discover bliss today. You just simply understood that bliss simply is. You didn't discover it. You didn't find it. It's right now, right here. You didn't have to do anything. Likewise, keep this, maintain this in your life, in your day-to-day life. Take this meditation with you. Don't do it for 30 minutes and then forget about it. True meditation occurs throughout the day, throughout every activity. If within there is an element of duality, then understand that bliss is your closest companion. But for those that are non-dual, that understand oneness, that are oneness, then understand that bliss is awareness. Anand is awareness. Anand is Brahman. Anand is Shanti. Bliss is peace. And this is not something you accumulate, it's not something you acquire. is not something you attain. It's what you are. When you take everything away, you're left with nothing but awareness, consciousness, bliss, peace, and everything else is just an appearance. Like the screen that allows the images to be projected from the projector. The screen is never affected. Therefore, your bliss can never be disturbed. It can never be broken. The connection can never dissolve away. Likewise with peace, and likewise with being aware of being aware. Bliss is our shared being. Peace is our shared being. We share this with everyone. And whatever is happening in the world today, may those that are entrenched in duality, in ego, in ignorance, at least have a peek into what bliss is, into what peace is. True peace.